Hello there. I extracted the clips in this series on Ayn Rand from lectures that I gave at the end of 2019. It includes the comments and questions that people raised, and so you might find answers to your questions in what I answered to those people. And the clips are organized by subject matter. What is my overall conclusion on Ayn Rand? Well, that she was not a philosopher. And before you roll your eyes in disbelief, I have to put that statement in a certain context, and that's what this introduction is about. The first problem we have is that no one defined the word philosophy in the last 10,000 years. We don't have a definition of the word philosophy. We have vague notions, and most people have these historical, traditional notions. They think it's the love of wisdom, as Aristotle called it. A lot of people, or maybe 99% of people out there, think it's just a way of thinking. You know, it's Joe's philosophy. No, we can't use that general notion of philosophy in any meaningful way, because for that matter, you know, a baby also has a way of thinking. And so everybody's a philosopher. We have 8 billion philosophers today. Then you cannot use the term in any rational way and say, oh, Aristotle was a philosopher. Well, so was everybody else then. Everybody's a philosopher. So we can't use that general notion of philosophy. We had to define the word very rigorously. Okay? Philosophy does not have anything whatsoever to do with politics, ethics, altruism, a lot of the stuff that Ayn Rand dealt with. She dealt a lot with what you should do, how government should be run, how we should behave. No, the shoulds are completely wiped out. That has nothing to do with philosophy. That's 150% religion, recommendations, that kind of thing. Senses, she did a lot with the senses, that anything that you can sense in some way, feel. None of that has anything to do with philosophy. We killed the observer, all living entities in the universe. Only then can we do philosophy. And talked about a lot about consciousness, observers, beliefs. None of that has anything to do with philosophy. Okay? Social sciences. Why are they sciences? Why is history a social science? Anthropology, why is it a social science? For that, you had to define the word science, and then somehow define these other branches so that they meet the definition of science to begin with. And that includes philosophy. Some people have this notion that philosophy is the mother of all sciences. Well, that's a very poetic, very nice closing argument for the jury. It has no purpose in science. In science, it's the other way around. Science you define, and then you have to define philosophy because it is a branch of science, if it's going to have any meaning, if we're going to have any purpose for the word philosophy. Ayn called her so-called philosophy objectivism. We're going to find out here that it was totally subjective, so I call it subjectivism instead. I think it's a better name for her philosophy. And subjectivism is religion. So she did not do philosophy, she did religion only. And Ayn failed to define entity and existence. More fundamental than that, she never realized that the word entity and the word existence belong exclusively to physics. So if anyone wants to talk about existence, they've crossed the line into physics, whether they understood it, they knew that or not. If you talk about the existence of God, you're not talking about religion. You're not talking about philosophy. What you're talking about is physics. What exists? Physics is the science of existence. It has total control. It's exclusive control over the word exist. And of course over the word object, which Ayn Rand called entity. So we're going to address that as well. And atheism is unscientific. It doesn't follow the scientific method. It's 100% religion. We're going to also argue that here as well. So you get an idea of what the series is going to be about. And again, these are clips that I collected from the lectures I gave at the end of 2019. And it includes questions and answers I gave to visitors. and they're organized by subject matter. So you can look up the titles and know what the clip is going to deal with.